Hello and welcome. Wow, it's been an eventful week. And so now we're at the middle of the week, so we can now get on with it. All right. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the gas prices and what happens and how it affects you. And a lot of it's common knowledge, a lot of it's not. Um, reason why I want to talk about it today was because I had a lot of people in some of my other groups. They talk to me about gas prices and how it's been affecting them. So I said, well, maybe we can do a strategy or something, or maybe we can kind of go through it a little bit. So without further ado, let's start. All right. I am David, and I'm your guide for today. So here's what we have. All right. This is from the Energy Association, EIA.gov, as you can see here. We're just talking about prices and thing and pricing. Okay, we're going to have a special situation about this. Okay, what we pay for in a gallon of regular gasoline. Okay, and this was from February 2022. The retail price was $3.52 slash gallon. Okay, as you can see, and then for regular diesel, retail price was 4.03 slash gallon. Okay, so this is what you're paying for. This is from the U.S. Energy Information Administration, and this is the gasoline and diesel fuel update, as you can see here. All right, you have taxes, 14%, distribution and marketing, refinery, and crude oil. Okay, so this tells you the breakdown according to the government, according to all the operators in this industry. Okay, whether it be gas stations, refineries, haulers, that haul gas and diesel, and then from the refining. Okay. So it gives you everything right here broken down in percentages so you can see. Okay, there's the crude oil. Okay, and then the refining. So for the diesel, 16%, and for regular gas, it's 14%. So if you live in an area with refining, they should be going full bore. And if they're not and they're shut down, it's because they're upgrading their situation or they're making sure that they can get all their workers in to start working. So a lot of people should be making a lot of money there. So no pun intended and no discretionary undercover jokes also. All right. So they got the on highway diesel fuel prices right here. And you can see for our trucking buddies, you can kind of see in here and you go through the chart. Um, you can see your regular gasoline prices as they go up as a chart, as you can see. And there's a key under each one of these charts that you can see right here. And you guys can go on here, and here's the link, EIA.gov slash petroleum slash gas diesel. Okay, this is very good to look at. Okay, and they've got a U.S. on highway diesel fuel for our trucking buddies once again. Okay, and they got, there's your change from a year ago. And here's what they're doing right now. So they look like they're trending downward. So there's some kind of pressure coming. And these are the latest dates that we have. So there you go. All right. And then there you have US regular gasoline prices, dollars per gallon. Okay. And here you go. Here's the latest dates. And they can tell you, where you're going, all of that. Um, and they said this here for those that are in Cali, West Coast, less California. So that tells you about California. Their stuff is a little different. So, which is normal in this day and age with California. The big situation with this is that the gas is very critical to our economy and how it moves and the inflationary rates that we have. So, in the trucking industry, a lot of times, even though you're paying for higher priced products, they do not, the truckers, 9 times out of 10, do not benefit from all the other prices in the supply chain going up. So they don't benefit from it. Every once in a while, they may get a fuel bonus, but is you have to be an adept trucker to do that. And it's truckers that are more experienced, they can roll through that. And we'll go in that at another time for our trucking people here. We have a couple of people with trucking companies, dispatch companies that are in here also. Um, my whole thing is this with the gas, okay, and oil, so to speak. And let's just say this. Let's go with oil. That's a minute. Excuse me. Let's just say oil. You got to budget for it now. You always did, but you really have to budget for it. Okay. What we're going to do now is we're going to go to another site and we're going to go to what we call a heat map, which is what we use in transportation. Okay. This technology. Okay. Here's the heat map. Okay. And this is from a company. Okay, we're not going to say their name, but we are using their information, which is a matter of public knowledge. Um, they've got their fuel insights here, and let's see what the United States average for regular is. Okay, since I have a lot of people here from California, we're going to start there first on the left hand side. So we're showing by fuel type, which is regular, state, and then show average or change. Okay, that's all we're doing. Okay. So there's an average in California right here, up and down the state. Okay, so wherever these are, I have no idea at this point, but we're going to figure it out in a minute. All right, there's California, there's Nevada, and this is as of today. Okay, and there's Oregon, there's Washington. So basically, it's all the West Coast states. Idaho, there's Utah, and there's Arizona. Okay, now let's go here. There's Montana, there's Wyoming, there's Colorado, and there's New Mexico. Let's go here. There's North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Texas, and Oklahoma. And let's go here. Iowa, Missouri, and Arkansas. Okay, let's go up here. Okay, there's Minnesota, there's Wisconsin, there's Michigan. Let's go down. There's Michigan again. Okay, there's Illinois. Okay. There's Indiana. Okay, there's Ohio, Kentucky. All right. Tennessee, Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, Florida. There's South Carolina, there's North Carolina, there's Virginia, there's West Virginia. All right, there's Ohio, 405. All right, there's Pennsylvania. All right, there's Maryland. All right, and there's Delaware, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. Okay, what this tells you is this is the United States average for regular right now. Okay, we can do Canada also if we want, but this is all the lower 40. We have the lower 48. Okay. One of the things that you got to understand is that these retail fuel prices, this is the color coded key. And what you got to understand is that these are the averages around America. You may be paying higher, you may be paying higher gas prices than these, but they said this is the average. Once they average out all the oil, all the gas stations, all the gas stations in America. Okay, and then they break it down. So this is what they call in developer terms, this is an algorithm, which will turn into AI because every day it's pulling. So let's say in the Los Angeles area, say they got so many gas stations. Okay, so so as you pay electronically, however you pay cash, they're inputting it, it's bouncing off a satellite and it's going somewhere. So that's why you have situations like these things here. Okay. And this is all this information is compiled and tabulated. And so that's why you get this. So every day this changes. But what happens with the U.S. Energy Information Administration, they bring this out every Monday, I think at 5 p.m. East Coast time, if I'm not mistaken, or it may be PST, or it may be Central. So don't quote me there, but just know at 5 p.m. they're going to put this up. So you can go here to see what what it is and what it ain't. And this is from the government. So a lot of people, if you're a conspiracy theorist, quote unquote, you need to realize our government is here for a reason. Okay, so these are what they're reporting. Okay, and then once you go to places like this, then you're good. And this is what makes it great. Okay, now to go back to here, all right, this is the compilation, what I said earlier. So if I missed it, I just went back. So please forgive me. But anyway, it's because I'm excited about talking today about this, because this can help some people. Okay, those that are in the know. So if you want to know information about futures, commodities, these are some of the data points that you use. I'm not going to talk any more about that. It's those that know. So this can give you what you need. Now, back to here. Okay. This kind of gives you a summation. Okay. And this is inside of an app. And right now I'm on a computer. So you can get this app. You can get this particular app. And I'm not condoning there's other apps. But when I looked up the information from the EIA, I just noticed when I looked through, they had the closest amounts to what was in the government compiled data. So that means that they were pulling from the government compiled data through either RSS feed or data analytics. So I was like, okay, these two match. So as I'm explaining it, it will give you a one up to know, okay, here it is from the government, and here it is being used in the private sector, so that you could actually see what it is nationally by state. The reason why I didn't pull up by county, I think there's like 3,300 counties in America. So I just can't, I just can't do it. If you want that, we can do that, but that's a long topic of conversation. Okay, so we're going on to our next tab. Okay. All right. Now, I did this for, let's see, LA County. Let me see. And these are all the prices in California. So I can use the show map. I can get regular fuel prices. We're still on this site. And this is an app, by the way. Okay. And you can find it, if you have an Android or iOS. So you can find it there. All right. So they seem to have these companies, and these companies keep coming up my conversation all the time. So they're telling you, all right, and this was there, and then you can go in here and click in here, and Carlo for show. This is in 2018. Go when it's not so busy, early in the morning or right before it closes. Okay, and this was somebody that said this, and this is the power of social media and people. So there you go. You guys know it is. We don't have to talk about it. Okay, let's close that up. Okay, and that's there, and that's what's going on. So they were there. They said 2 hours ago. Okay, that's that company. Okay, and we're just doing LA. We're doing LA County. So top 10 gas stations and cheap fuel prices in LA County, California. Now, we're not endorsing these companies. We're just saying, according to the data analytics, this is what's going on as of today. Okay, and this is very important. Very, very important. Okay, there's that one over there in that area. There they go. And let's see if they got any details. Somebody was kind enough. Okay, they says this is in 2017. I purchased at blank club mainly for the gas station here. Unlike the competitor, this club almost always has a vacant gas pump. Also, the people getting gas at the competitor are usually rude. This is well worth the 40 a year membership. But remember, this is from 2017. So they just did a heads up. We don't know. Doesn't sound really, could have been somebody working there, but it sounds like somebody was happy. So we don't know. Okay, and then this one over here at this one, okay, and that's over in San Dimas. Look what they got. That was 14 minutes ago. So this is up to the date. And this is what we call real-time on-demand information. Cheapest, and I like them, but they are always very busy on the weekend. So that was from 2018, which is common for all of their locations. We're not doubting this company. We're just saying when you go, this is what it is. Okay, there's that. Excuse me. This was 10 minutes ago. Let's see if we got any details over there. Um, okay, there you go. I'm not repeating it. So this was in 2016. So we don't know if this is valuable information, but there you go. Okay, there's your details. All right. Now you got this one over here. All right. This is 28 minutes ago. Okay. So there are details. Let's see what they say. Okay. They say this one doesn't support where we're getting our information from. Okay. So there you go. All right. Now you can research. You can research this app yourself. Okay. And they got this one. They got this one. We can keep going on down. I'm not going to keep rolling, but you guys got to go in there and research. But I'm sure you get the idea. Okay. Let's pick another situation here. Let me see. Let's go back. That's regular. We're not going to do premium. I'm just going to do regular. So let's go here. Okay, and these are all the gas stations that we preview right here in LA. Okay, I have a lot of people that follow me in our group that are from LA. So whatever state you're from and wherever you're at, you can go in here and get this. Now, some of you guys know about this, some of you don't. Some of you may have seen it on the news, but this is something that can possibly help you. The reason why I wanted to do this show today was because I had a lot of people, they were talking to me. I had truckers talking to me. I had laymen talking to me, or laypersons, and people, and I come from a transportation background. So there's different things you can do. Go in there and see what this company has to offer and report back to us. Okay, there's that. All right, now the number one thing that I want you to understand is that since the oil is fluctuating, you want to know where you can get your information as a constant so you can know. So you got to add this to your daily routine if you have a budget. And one thing about a budget is that it changes. And so right now, from where I'm looking at the gas prices and then what people are telling me in some states is you got a budget. So this is what I'm gonna tell everybody to do. All right. And I'm gonna explain it in one moment. All right. And some people are gonna go, wow, I don't think I can do that. But you're gonna have to do it because we don't know, because the worldwide market is having a problem right now because we have a number of wars that are happening. And now we have a war in against two Russian peoples that is affecting, because they are the wheat suppliers of the world. They produce the most wheat. Okay. And they also produce a lot of minerals. Russia does. And also the gas production. So it's very important that you keep checking at least a couple of times a week so you can see. So we're not saying that this is all this is about, but this is what's in the news right now, as everybody can know. So you can verify those situations. I'm not going to give you a percentage, but Russia does have a giant percentage. I think it's 14% of the world's natural resources. So look that up. Maybe my figures are off, but it's something like that. So we got to look at it from that perspective. Okay. And am I against Ukraine? No. What I'm saying is this is the actual thing. Okay. And it's somewhere, it's 39% with Russia and Ukraine combined of the world's wheat supply. That means they grow the most wheat. That's 39% of the world's wheat supply. So if you start seeing products with wheat in it, especially loaves of bread, where I went to a big box retailer and the bread used to have a double pack. I just call it a doubler. So, and it was for a certain price. It's now went up another $1.50. Okay. And I'm not going to say which which big box retailer that is. Okay. So these are things that affect you in the little ways. So that's why you got a budget. So I'm going to tell everybody right now, as of today, okay, I'm going to tell everybody right now that since we are in this situation, you're going to have to budget $10 a gallon. A lot of people are going to balk at that price. I can't afford it. I can't, you can't say that. This is the advice for today. It may change in a couple of weeks. Maybe the gas is going to go down, but you got to budget for $10 a gallon because only you know how your vehicle runs. Okay. And if you have a hybrid, right on. If you got a gas situation, yeah. All right. So you budget for $10 a gallon. So if it used to take you, whatever it is, let's just go hypothetically here, depending on what state it's going to be different. Let's say if it takes you $80 to fill up. So now you got to add some money to that. You got to add. So, and if you have an SUV or a truck, you just got to, so I'm going to say 300 a month is what I'm going to say. And this is a guesstimate. The reason why I'm going to do a guesstimate so that you can pick your own numbers. Okay. I'm just going by what these facts are. Okay. And then, so there's other situations you can look up and see what the projections are, but I didn't want to get into that today. I just wanted to make it simple so that we could produce a strategy or talk about a strategy that would help you to be better at your budget. So these are budget busters, so to speak. All right. So now what that means is you got to go into trip planning mode. In trip planning, which we call in transportation, because I'm from that background, we call it route. It's like route optimization, route planning. Okay. All the major transportation companies do it. Okay. And some transportation companies, they're the ones you see with the brown trucks. Their trucks, they advise their trucks to only turn a certain way. So I'm going to tell you, but you can look it up. Okay. They got the shield, they brown. Okay. But they estimate what they save in their fleet. And I think they have a specialized fuel that goes into their situation, but they save a couple of million a year, if I'm not mistaken, according to their docs. So I'm not going to go in there and talk about it, but you can look it up. Okay, you get the hint. So your trip planning or route optimization. So instead of going from point A to C and point A to D, and you got 3 or 4 stops, try to put them in close proximity to each other. So if I go here to, let's say I go to Joe Schmo's Chicken Shack, let's just say, okay, but then I got to go to the grocery store. Okay, I got to go to All-Star Grocery. No offense if that's a real grocery store, but we're just using it here as an example. And say the Chicken Shack, and say it's 5 miles from my house. And let's say the grocery store happens to be in the same center. So I go there, I go to the Chicken Shack, and I'm only, 20 steps away from the grocery store. So you got to plan your trips like that so that I'm saving on gas. So this is very, very important. If you're doing all kinds of running around, you need to plan your trip instead of just hopping in your car and going. And if you don't know where you're going right now, that means you're driving around in circles, which means you're burning gas. So on $10 a gallon, that's a little different if you got a tight budget. So, oh yeah, ain't no more joyriding. Oh no. It's two things on your tank now. When you look at your meter, all right, it used to be on empty and full. All right. Now it's evil in fantasy. That's how you got to look at it. So when you fill up, you got to go to work. You got to pick your kids up or make sure that you make the route as close as possible as you can so that you're not, when you're stopping, everything is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, just like we do in regular transportation. When trucks get dispatched, we make sure that all the information is there. So if you're a person that don't understand how to read maps, you better learn. And you better understand you need to call somebody, or we'll do one on here, how to read a map, whatever. If you can't do it and you're calling people to get where you got to go, you are sadly mistaken, because you're burning fuel. And this is very important. And I know some people have had their talks with their significant others. And if you're a significant other and you can't read a map and you got two cars, so that means you got a budget times 10 times two on every gallon. Uh-huh. You better know where you're going all the time. And you better know accordingly. And if you've been driving long enough in certain cities, you know where the traffic is and you know how to get around it or get through it, or lessen the impact on your gas tank. So this is very important. And it ain't nothing new that you don't already know. It's just that it's on this platform, and today we're rolling through it. So one of the big issues with a lot of things that we're doing is it feels like we're getting squeezed as Americans. And this is the part that is very hard to, you know what I mean, to do. It's not to think it, but you got to stay in your creative mind. You know what I mean? And this is very important that you do that. All right. So what we're doing is, since this is Wednesday, March 23rd, 2022, this information is relevant for now with what you're seeing on the screen. Okay. This came out on Monday at 5. So they're the last weeks, and that was from the U.S. Energy Information Administration gasoline and diesel fuel update. Okay, if you want to take a look at that, you can look at it. So you figure out how to get there. I'm not telling you. So, but it's there up on the screen. So, we want to make sure you got good information. So on March 23rd, 2022, which is today, we are telling you these are some of the strategies that you can use. So add this to your list of situations to do so that you know. And remember, these prices are fluctuating all the time. But you can go back in to places like this, okay, on an app, and you can go in there and see where you're at. And then you can break it down by where you're at. So they got this, this, and this. Okay, so there you go. And then you can constantly update it, which is fine. Okay, and then you got your maps key underneath here. And this is your retail fuel prices. So it tells you, there you go, the colors, it tells you what it is and what it ain't. So you got to remember, if you're living in California, you're going to get broke off, so to speak, on the street. All right. So they're becoming electric. So remember, our president has said that they passed an infrastructure bill. So part of that is they want to make 500,000 electrical charging stations throughout the country. So, and I think that's the correct number. If I'm not sure, you guys can correct me in the chat or whatever you want to do. So it's important that you do your trips. Like we say, plan your trips to save gas. And then the next thing I'm going to tell you, win with your brain to save money. Okay, you might have to go somewhere and shopping. Maybe you saw some shoes. Okay, they were on sale at the little shoe boutique. Okay, but you got to go pick up your kids. You got to leave work. You got to pick up your kids, and you got to go to the shoe boutique. So ideally, you want to be in a line or a circle. Okay, and that's where you want to be as far as where you're going. So this is what a lot of people have told me that they've been doing. Okay, so this was an actual case study, I guess you could say. A woman said she wanted some special heels. She said them red bottoms. Okay, I like shoes. I like seeing people in nice shoes. Okay, I don't know what the styles are. I just like nice shoes. Okay, so I said, okay, well, which brand are you getting? This is one of my clients, and she told me, and I said, oh, okay. I said, well, what's going on with your gas? How you. So she commutes from L.A. to a certain area, and she said, okay, it takes me this long with traffic, and then the kids' school is on the way. So I said, okay, she was almost, when she told me where she was going, I knew she was going. She had like almost a straight line. It was a crooked line, but it was good because from the school to the shoe boutique, it was maybe 6 miles, but traffic. So she was like, okay. So when I talked to her, I said, yeah, do that. She said, well, I don't really want to take my kids to the shoe store. I said, well, if you go to the shoe store first, then you have to work back to the school. Okay. Your kids expect you to pick them up at a certain time. That means you got to call. You're adding more stress. Excuse me. You're adding more stress to your life because now you got to call the school and tell the school you're going to be late. But the problem is now you put pressure on to getting the shoes, even though you saw some shoes you like. Now, when you go in that shoe store, you already know that boutique. You already know they got other shoes that you're going to like. So you're going to need some time. So this is when the home training and all of that adds up for your kids. All right. Personally, when I was with my dad, he was like, hey, use the bathroom and we're going to pack you a lunch and don't ask me for nothing. You know what it is when we go somewhere. So it was like, okay, dad. With my mom, she was like, you know what time it is. You touch anything, we go in this store. You better use the bathroom before we go. All right. So I was the youngest. So that's what it was. But we have a lot of people that have missed those conversations with their kids. Um, am I judging? No. What I'm saying is this is when all this comes into play so that now you can move forward. And this is what we're saying about being in your creative mind. Because now you're saying, okay, I can leave work. And this is what she said, my client. So if I just leave work, get off work and go pick my kids up at the normal time, right? Say yes. And then go to the shoe store. And her kids are a little bit older, so they know they're probably like they're tweens. They're right before that time you get to in be a teenager. So tweens. So she said they'll be all right. I said yeah. So don't worry about it. So that's why I told her. I said so. I came up with the slogan: "Win with your brain to save money." So she went on ahead, picked her kids up, went to the store. Then that's my client, So she called me when she was at the store, and she did a little synopsis. We talked, and I said, well, look at the outfit you got on, and how many outfits you got like that in your closet? She said, well, I always wear these colors. Okay, so there's the shoes. She showed me the shoes. I said, there's the shoes you want. And she said, man, you know how to pick out shoes. I said, yeah, but that's an added value service, but I'm going to give you a free one today. So anyway, she was able to get her shoes. Her kids were well mannered. She had two. And so they hopped in the car, they got on, and then from the shoe store to where she had to go, from the shoe boutique, I should say, to where she had to go home, it was less than 10 miles. So she was good, but it was still traffic. But she got there, and she actually said, if I would have left work and if I'd have worked that 1 hour overtime, it would have took me 2.5 hours. Whereas now it just took me a little bit under about 70, 80 minutes. So she thanked me, and I said, that's why you're my client. So she thanked me, and I told her, blessings, and she got on. But we use that example to show you that win with your brain to save money. So budget your gas for $10. Just that's what we're saying on March 23rd, 2022. This is what it looks like. Try to budget your gas for $10 a gallon. Okay. So if you got two cars, that's times two. So you know what you're looking at. You know what I mean? And my guesstimation is 300 for the month, depending on how many times you fill up. So you got a budget. So that's why we created things like jobsai.work so you can work online. So if you need to work 2 jobs, let's just say, okay, and let's just say you out here doing it on your own, whether man or woman or other. Okay. Now you can work from home. So you got to put these things together. If you put these things together, they're going to help you. And that's what we're here for, to make you operate at an efficient situation within your budget. So you say, okay, I got 300. Okay, so I'm budgeting for 300. Okay, so that means I need to bring in some extra money. Okay, so I got a family or I'm by myself. Okay, and my kids need a lot of attention. Okay, how can I do this? And so how can I do this so that I can keep my stress levels down and keep my positivity up? Okay, because your body and your brain can only take so much, especially if you're having rough days at work. Well, check this out. Okay, say I went on jobsai.work and I got a job that's online. I work these hours. Okay, so while my kids are doing their homework, I could be working. And so if I have to explain to my kids what I need to do, well, you guys, you guys need stuff and I need to be able to keep my tank full. And your kids will amazingly understand. Now, if you raise your kids and they're spoiled, that's on you. But if you raise them to be cognizant and to be critical thinkers, then they're going to understand that. I'm telling you, these kids, no, I used to coach a lot of years. These kids, these generations, you have to explain to them what you're doing. And a lot of people say, well, I'm a parent. I don't have to say anything. But you might want to, because that kid can become a helpmate for you. Our kids with an S. And so you want to set that situation up as best as you can. Now, everything ain't perfect. And I'm not talking about pie in the sky. We're talking about a real strategy. So some of you that are hesitant about a lot of things, look at what we're telling you. Win with your brain to save money. So to make yourself more efficient. And that's what you want to do. Now, everybody's situation is different. This ain't a cure all, be all, know all the information. This ain't about that. This is practicality. And it's being thrown out there. You know what I mean? And we're saying, so try some of these strategies and see if it works for you. If it doesn't work for you, okay, move on. But if it does work for you, hey, I did my job. I did my job. And that's all I wanted to do was to make sure. So make sure you stay in your creative mind because it's too much stress out here with this gas. I mean, I've got clients calling me, why, it's hard. I can't make it. No, no, no. I'm like, no, you've been making it before. You've had harder situations. So, and that's how you got to think. And some of us out here have had real tough situations, which is, not a bad, it just made us tougher. So whatever it is or whatever it ain't, make it be conducive to you. This is just what you got to do every day, day in, day out. I got bags under my eyes from working. Okay. So I got to slow down. Okay. And I got to drink a little more water, maybe give me some more iron. I got things I got to do, but it's because what I'm dealing with is to stay in my creative mind and out of my competitive mind. Now, if you're a driver that drives for one of these ride sharing apps, we're not going to talk about them. You guys know. So that means that right now your profits are being diminished because of the gas. So you got to figure out what you need to do. You got to figure that out. So if I was somebody out there and I was doing that, I would do this. I would make sure that I knew where the peak times and when I could be on and when I could do it. And I wouldn't stress about it. I go fill up whatever I need to do. I make sure that my car was clean. I make sure that I have things for my clients sitting in the back. I would make sure that I have stuff. And I would make sure that I got tips because I treat everybody nice and well and swell. So, and it's the same way when you're in online business. It's the same way when I do this podcast. So everybody here, no matter what happens, I remember in the 70s, they used to have long gas lines. In the early 70s, I was a little kid. They had this. And I remember they were talking about OPEC and we studied about it in school. And that was the part, And so now here it comes back around. History always repeats itself. That's what they say. If you don't understand history, you're doomed to repeat it. Well, this has repeated itself. So we as Americans got to figure this out. How can we do? And we can't worry about if we feel like we're getting squeezed because this is America. Every day you wake up, you're going to get pimped on something. You wake up. I remember back in the day in the 70s when they had the 76 Olympics. I remember eating Wheaties like our family was provided for. My dad, mom, they did a good job. We didn't always get to eat all the breakfast with all the logos. We ate breakfast with they had animals on them. So we didn't eat, we didn't eat the one with the tiger. Only my dad ate that. We couldn't touch it, but he was working all them hours. So I got to commend my dad on that. But we had cereal, we had oatmeal. We had what we needed to start the day off without having a hunger pang in our stomach. And that was a beautiful thing. So what I'm going to tell you as that applies to this, in 76, I remember watching the 76 Olympics. I remember watching the decathlon. And I remember seeing somebody on the box. This was like the guy, the best athlete in the world that they considered because he won the Olympic decathlon. Then you come back years later and you see a transformation. Big shock. Big shot. All right. But I remember seeing it on a breakfast box, and that's all I'm saying. And now those boxes are worth money, a lot of money. All right. But anyway, it's just a side note. Anyway, to go back to this situation is that you got to be the best you could be. You got to be the best you could be in this hard times. And it's really not hard. What it is, these are times where you got to win with your brain to save money. And you want to be the best that you can be. That's why we keep stressing that, because it's stressful. You got $40, you got to go 40 miles. How you going to get back? So these are real life scenarios. So that's why you got a budget. So make sure you use all the tools that we give you here. It ain't just about me, it's about you. So hopefully we'll get people to do their best every day. And hopefully we can get people to come out of it. So stop stressing and start planning and start strategizing. Because this is plan your trips to save gas. Okay, I've talked long enough, and hopefully I've given you a little taste of how to be, not according to me, but how to be according to what the national averages are of the fuel. And you can go in there and go to that app that you saw earlier, and you can go in there and look and see what your gas is, and you can break down by county, so you can push here. And I'm not going to do it, but that's what we want for everyone here. So I want everybody to be blessed. Thank you for listening to me, and thank you for having great days. So no matter what, just keep going over the mountaintop. It ain't over. It ain't over, but at least you can get an extra push from your thought processes. So I'm going to end you with this. Blessings, and what I want for myself, I want for others. Be your best, do your best, no matter what the weather is, no matter what your situation is. Keep carrying your banner, and your banner is your brand and your flag and your family's name and your honorable actions to create honorable consequences. So make sure you roll on and you just keep rolling. And consequences may not be the best term, but we're going to say actionables. Okay, so just do your best. Do your best every day. All right. This is David signing out. Have a great rest of the week, and look for more of my live streams. Right on. Successstrategy.live. Right on.